I am a believer of the natural family planning method. I do not personally take any birth control just because with any medication there are side effects, and I just prefer to take the holistic side of things. So that means that I track my cycle using apps. I use the Flow app, and I also use the Pregmate app that goes along with the ovulation strips and the pregnancy tests that I use. With that, you track when you get your period, and then it makes predictions based off of your cycle. So it will predict when you're ovulating, when your period is due, when you're most fertile, when your fertile window is. So that has worked really well for me. It's been about 8 years since I have been on hormonal birth control. So since then I have been tracking my cycle religiously. I have used a few different methods, but typically I just track based on my period, and that has been enough to prevent pregnancies when I am not interested in getting pregnant, and it also helped me plan for my pregnancy with my son. And this time around with trying to conceive for pregnancy number 2, I am doing the same exact thing. So let's get started on some products that I find helpful for trying to conceive. So a while back I used the temperature method. So I got the thermometer from Natural Cycles, and they have an app as well. You do have to pay for it, so that's why I don't currently use it. But I did use the thermometer to track my temperature. So basically, if you use the temperature method, you're going to take your temperature every day before you do anything. So as soon as you wake up, before you make any movements, get out of bed, anything, you're gonna wanna take your temperature. You track it in the app, and then it'll use your temperature trends to tell you when your fertile window is and when to avoid unprotected sex, or when to try to conceive. So temperature tracking with Natural Cycles is definitely one method that is pretty effective. And then I have been using these Pregmate ovulation test strips. So since I exclusively breastfeed, and I do ecological breastfeeding, which means feeding on demand, and kind of following my son's cues, we do still breastfeed through the night. So I didn't get my period back until about 17 months postpartum, so I wasn't able to track my cycle. I wasn't sure if I was ovulating. So I did start using these Pregmate ovulation test strips to track my cycle when I was not having a period. And I still am using these because once you get your period back, sometimes it can be irregular. So it is important for me to know that my tracking is correct, and the ovulation test strips are a great way to confirm. And then I also use the Pregmate pregnancy test strips. This is what I used when I found out I was pregnant with my son. They are reliable and correct in my experience. And then I followed up with the digital test that says pregnant, not pregnant. But this is the first test that I took, and it was correct and accurate. And then Frida Mom also has ovulation test strips, and this little cup came with one of those. So I still use the cup, but with the Pregmate strips to collect urine for testing. So those are some of my favorite products for tracking your cycle, pregnancy test brand. There are tons of other ones that you can try, but these ones are super affordable on Amazon and are accurate in my experience. I also would recommend taking charge of your health anytime during your childbearing years, and in general, but especially in the childbearing years. So personally, I abstain from drinking alcohol. That was not always the case. That started when I got pregnant with my son, and then I just realized that for my health journey, it made the most sense to not drink, especially when I was breastfeeding and when the possibility of getting pregnant is there, just so I don't even have to worry about it if I were to become pregnant and not know it. So limiting or not drinking alcohol at all is one thing I recommend for your fertility health. Alcohol has so many negative effects, and it's really best for your egg quality and for your partner's sperm quality as well to limit or not drink alcohol at all. Another thing is to really focus on your diet. So I personally eat a animal-based, whole food focused, high protein diet like meats and eggs and yogurt. Those are some things that I eat often to maintain my health the best way I know how. That's what works best for me. And there are a lot of nutrients that can't be found in plant-based foods. So eating an animal-based high protein diet has worked really well to maintain my health and to have a healthy first pregnancy. There are 2 really great books that you can check out if you're interested and you want to learn more about your fertility on your trying to conceive journey or just during your childbearing years in general. The book Real Food for Fertility by Lily Nichols is really amazing. She is a registered dietitian. She also wrote a book called Real Food for Pregnancy, and she also has one, Real Food for Gestational Diabetes. She is just an expert in nutrition, and I read the Real Food for Pregnancy when I was pregnant and was just blown away by it. I absolutely loved it. It gave me so much helpful information to have the healthiest pregnancy possible and to nourish my baby the best I could during pregnancy. So after I read that book, I picked up Real Food for Fertility to read while preparing for my second pregnancy journey. So I highly recommend that book, all 3 of them really. I just love everything she has to offer. Another awesome option if you want to take a deep dive into fertility and go into your trying to conceive journey with as much information as possible. Knowledge is key, and knowing the information ahead of time can make sure that you have the most successful start to your trying to conceive journey and that it is not prolonged unnecessarily. And it will also empower you to know if there is something abnormal along your trying to conceive journey so that you can seek help early and get to have your baby sooner, which is the goal for everybody. Another thing I would recommend is a preconception visit with your OBGYN or midwife, whoever is going to be your provider during your pregnancy and your birth. They will offer preconception visits so you can get labs drawn, talk about your goals, just get kind of a checkup on your health to make sure everything is looking good to have an easier trying to conceive journey and a healthy pregnancy. Some other things I recommend during the childbearing years are to limit your toxic load. So definitely being aware of what products you are using, anything from skincare, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, deodorant, cleaners in your home, dish soap, laundry detergent, perfumes, everything like that. You should really be mindful of everything you're putting on your body, everything you're coming into contact with, everything in your home, because it can negatively impact your hormones and make trying to conceive a more difficult journey for you. So I recommend trying to limit fragrances, so not using perfumes, using more natural options like essential oils. For deodorants, I recommend using a clean brand, definitely aluminum free. I just recently started using Primally Pure deodorant. It is amazing so far. It definitely does work without all of the gross ingredients that can potentially disrupt your hormones. So this is the Primally Pure lavender deodorant. And I stocked up, and I also got the vanilla and citrus and the blue tansy. So definitely recommend Primally Pure if you're looking for a clean deodorant, especially during your trying to conceive journey. You want to limit anything that could potentially disrupt your hormones during that time. If you have any questions about non-toxic products or products that I recommend to lower your toxic load and to avoid potentially harmful and hormone disrupting chemicals, drop it down below, letting me know which products that you're interested in learning more about, and I will let you know what I recommend. Another thing I recommend while you are trying to conceive is taking good supplements. So I personally use Parallel. I've used them since I believe the end of my first trimester with my son. I was looking for a better prenatal than the ones that I was finding in store. I wanted cleaner products and to make sure that it was well-rounded. So I found Parallel when searching online, and they are a cleaner option, and I have just found that their ingredients cover everything that you need during each stage. They do a subscription-based option. You put in your due date and it'll send you first trimester pack, and then when you hit second trimester, it'll switch to second, third trimester, and then so on and so forth. They also have a postpartum vitamin as well that focuses on postpartum healing and breastfeeding support and mood support. And I was taking that up until we started thinking about trying for baby number 2, now that my son is almost 2 years old, and I switched over to their conception support pack. So this one, it comes in individually wrapped packets, and this specific one has 5 pills, and it comes with the core prenatal, the omega, DHA, and EPA, CoQ10, and folate. And folate is important when you are trying to conceive because all of baby's really important development happens in the first few weeks of pregnancy. So you want to make sure that you have good stores of vitamins and nutrients before you even get pregnant, to make sure that during those crucial few weeks of pregnancy, your baby has everything they need to develop appropriately and to get the best start possible. So that is why I definitely recommend taking a prenatal, taking vitamins, supplements that you feel good about, that you have researched, that you have talked to your provider about, to make sure that you are getting everything you need nutrient-wise, and that your body and also your baby are going to be fully supported through pregnancy and beyond. Another thing that is just amazing for your health in general is drinking plenty of water and staying hydrated. I have been loving Element electrolyte packets. They were kind enough to send me samples, and I have been drinking those daily. I drink one daily to make sure that I am staying well hydrated, along with drinking plenty of water, and that is recommended in general for everybody, but especially for making sure that your health is in tip-top shape when you are trying to conceive, when you are pregnant, when you are postpartum, when you are breastfeeding. Staying hydrated is one of the #1 things you can do for your overall health. And lastly, taking part in some sort of exercise routine is super important for maintaining your health, for your trying to conceive journey, for pregnancy, for making sure that you're there to enjoy as much time as possible with your children, with your grandchildren. So keeping a exercise routine that is maintainable for you is definitely key. Even something as simple as walking. So with my son, we go on walks anytime that it is nice out. And I also go for walks with my postpartum doula babies for nap times. We do lots of stroller naps. It's great for everyone to get fresh air and to get activity. So definitely pick an exercise routine that works for you and keep your body moving to stay in your best health while trying to conceive. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe for more. I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll talk soon.